Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I don't know how to do this video. It's been sitting on my production list for a very long... This was one of the very first topics I put on the production list. And every time I sit down to tackle it, I go, yeah, but do I really want to make this case? The case is the DC Extended Universe or the DC Cinematic Universe, whichever word you want to use, secretly good? I'm not trying to argue, is it better than the MCU? It is, and I'll make that case in another video. But I'm just going to throw that out there. The DC stuff is better than the Marvel stuff. Flat out, cold turkey, hands down. But when I'm talking about the DC Extended Universe or Cinematic Universe or whatever you want to call it, we're not just specifically talking about a single subset of movies. We're talking about all the DC movies, whether they're connected or otherwise. And we're talking about all of the animated programs, whether they're connected or otherwise. And we're talking about the television programs, Gotham, Smallville, etc., whether they're connected or otherwise. Because they're all loosely connected in the sense that they're all the same characters and they're reimaginings or retellings of the same stories, even if they're disconnected on the surface or they have more connections in other ways, if they impact others directly or indirectly. So the real question is, does the DC family of multimedia entertainment, is it actually any good? And I'm going to say yes. By and large, video games based on DC characters, with a couple of notable exceptions, Superman 64, I'm looking at you. By and large, the DC video games have more or less been better than the Marvel video games. Prime example, Batman has never made a bad video game. They have never made a bad video game based on Batman. They've made video games that are not as good as others. They've made video games that are better than others. They've made video games that are just okay. But they've never made an actual, honest-to-God, truly bad Batman video game. You cannot say the same thing about Avengers, X-Men, Captain America, Marvel at all. They've made some bad Marvel games. Now, by and large, X-Men have a better track record than the rest of Marvel, but they've made some bad X-Men games. I'm looking at you, NES, Uncanny X-Men. Superman, yeah, he's had some okay games. He's had some phenomenal games. And he's had some games that make you question the existence of humans in the first place. As in, do we really contribute anything to the universe? I mean, if the best we can do is Superman 64, there's a case that maybe we should go extinct. I don't know. I'm not making that case, but others could, and I would use that as evidence. Not, like, compelling evidence, but evidence nonetheless. The Fantastic Four have never had a good video game. Period. Ever. This isn't debatable. The Avengers, or when I say Avengers, I mean Marvel Extended Family, games that feature various Marvel characters, including the Avengers, Fantastic Four, X-Men, that are intermixed. Hit or miss. There have been some good ones, there have been some bad ones, but games that are just exclusively the Fantastic Four, they've never made a good one. Never have, and probably never will, because I don't think they can. Spider-Man has a better track record than most Marvel characters, even the X-Men, but even he's had some stinkers. I'm looking at you, Sega CD. 32X, to name two. So yeah. As far as video games go, by and large, as a whole, DC does it better. Mostly because you can't really fuck up Batman. Although I have to backpedal. Even though I will not say it's a bad game, The worst Batman video game is obviously Batman Returns on the Sega CD. That one is playable, and it gets the job done, but they could have done a better job. And that's the worst you can say about Batman video games, is you come across one where it's like, it's playable, it gets the job done, but they could have done better. But there isn't any that I can think of where I can say, oh god, this is awful. Superman, I can say that. Fantastic Four, I can say that. Avengers, I can say. X-Men, I can say that. Not Batman. So I have to give the edge to DC when it comes to video games. And that's including Marvel vs. Capcom. And that whole family of product. DC does it better. Movies. Alright. You're going to talk about Avengers Endgame. I know you are. You're going to bring up the Winter Soldier. You're going to talk about the Guardians of the Galaxy. And you're going to go, aha. And I'm going to counter that with The Dark Knight. And I've just shut down everything you said. The Dark Knight is by far, hands down, undeniably the greatest comic book movie ever made, and nothing will ever top it. But I can go a step further. Batman 1989. Again, we're back to Batman. But I can keep going if I wanted to. But I won't. Because that's enough. I've already won the argument with 2 movies. 2 movies! And I've already won the argument that DC does it better. Now, that's not to say Marvel doesn't do it well. I'm not saying Marvel's bad. I'm just saying DC does it better. Yeah, you're going to have stinkers on both sides. You're going to have the Ant-Mans and the Doctor Strange films, but you're also going to have the Aquamans, and some people like the Suicide Squad films, some people don't, and the atrocious Joker films. Ugh. Both of them suck. And I'm not even going to get into the whys they suck. You have eyes and ears and a brain to comprehend. You can figure it out for yourself, I assume. Unless you're a vegetable, in which case you're not watching YouTube videos. You're lying in a hospital bed somewhere. So, yeah. I feel bad for you, but also you're not watching this video, so I'm not talking to you. Anyways, maybe a little insensitive. I apologize. Being harsh. But let's talk television. I'll make a bold statement. Marvel has never made a good television show. Period. They've made television shows that the fanboys overhype because they're desperate to have something to cling to. Case in point, whatever that show was with the superheroes, I can't remember what it was called. Shield something Shield. I can't remember. It was stupid. People liked it. Why? I don't know. I don't, for the love of God, know why they... Agent Smith or whatever the fuck it was called. Agent... Where they're back in, like, the 60s. Whatever the fuck that show was called. Stupid. The Daredevil show. My God, if you like that Daredevil show, I pity you. I pity you. But, on the flip side, I would argue DC really hasn't had a major misstep in the television arena yet. They've had some close calls, you know, with that Legends of Tomorrow. That was a close call. They've had a couple recent years that were like, okay, they were iffy, but they turned out okay in the end. But some of the best comic book television ever produced has been DC. I've already mentioned Smallville. You're welcome. Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. Great fucking show. Gotham, one of the best television shows, period, regardless of genre or substance. And then you've got amazing stuff like The Flash, Arrow, Swamp Thing even. Hell. Batman the Animated Series. Teen Titans. You've had Justice League has had some good stuff. Yeah, they've had X-Men and X-Men 97. But don't get me started on all of the awful Spider-Man cartoons. They've never done ever done a good Spider-Man cartoon. Come at me. Come at me. Don't even talk about that 1990 rubbish. And if you're going to try to convince anybody on the face of this earth that Spider-Man and his loser friends was a good cartoon, oh my fucking God, get a life. I don't even like cartoons, by and large, in general. And I'll sit through a DC cartoon. Even a DC movie like Apocalypse. I'll watch animated movie. I'll watch that. You're not going to get me to sit down and watch an animated Hulk movie. I don't care who you are. It ain't going to happen because there ain't shit all to enjoy about that. And for the love of God, if you need proof that Marvel can make some fucking bullshit movies, look at the 3 Deadpools. Fuck Deadpool and anyone that likes or defends Deadpool. Okay, I take that back. I'm a little harsh on the people who like it. You're allowed to like it. I'm not going to call you an asshole. But Deadpool is an asshole. And I would assume, logically, it tracks that if you enjoy a movie about an asshole, that would make you an asshole. But I like Freddy Krueger, so I'm going to back off on that one. Alright? I'm going to back off on that one. I'll let you like the Deadpool. It's stupid. It is a stupid movie. But if you want to be an asshole, that's your business. I don't care. Now, the X-Men movies are where Marvel gets it right every fucking time. They've never made a bad X-Men movie. And I'm ripping out Wolverine from the X-Men here because they've not made a good Wolverine movie yet. Whether his name was in the title, Wolverine, the Wolverine, or Logan, or, well, yeah, those 3, not great. Not good. Logan is passable. I'll give you Logan. You can have it. Keep it away from me. I want nothing to do with it. I'll give you that one. But if you're going to try to convince me that X-Men Origins Wolverine is a good movie, I can't help you. Go see a therapist, I guess. And if you're seeing already a therapist, find a better therapist because they're not helping. I'm sorry. I'm harsh. Because I just see things the way they are, not the way that people want them to be. Too many people are blinded by nostalgia or fanboyish dreams, I guess. I don't know. They get blinded by their cheerleading, and they don't see the things that they're cheerleading for are actually bad. You know, like every single person that tries to convince any other living human being that Xbox has value. No, it doesn't. The Xbox brand has added nothing to society, so you're welcome as well. I just saved you a whole bunch of money. Buy PlayStation, buy Nintendo, buy retro games, or PC games. Don't waste your time and money and resources and energy and effort on anything with the Xbox name on it. I'm sorry. If you don't have a choice, okay, fair enough. But for the love of God, there's better things out there. Anyways. Comic books. DC makes better comic books. They always have. They always will. Yeah, a lot of people didn't enjoy the New 52. I loved it. But for the love of God, I can take down the entirety of Marvel with one sentence. The Spider-Man Clone Saga. Fuck off. Anyone that tries to defend the Clone Saga, eat shit. You are brain damaged. You are a broken person. We cannot be friends. Even if you like it, keep it to yourself. I don't need to know you like it, because that just tells me things about you I don't need to know about you. Keep it to yourself. Like it, just don't tell me you like it. Please and thank you. Or better yet, just don't like it at all. Ugh. And if your name is Bob Budiansky, thank you for Transformers, but fuck you for the Clone Saga. I'm sorry. Dude, you made mistakes. And the Clone Saga was a mistake. That was not a mistake. That was a fuck up. That was such a fuck up that Marvel almost went out of business and had to sell off all their movie rights to various movie studios and then ultimately sell to Disney in the long run just to continue to exist. DC does it better. Alright? Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes that you're here for, right? People are going to argue, very falsely, that Marvel characters are more relatable because they're more believable, because they're regular people. Alright. How many of you watching this are a scientist with a master's degree working for the military studying gamma radiation? How many of us watching this, how many of you defending Marvel, how many of you are a super genius college level prodigy in high school? How many of you watching this are upper class white people, for the most part? There's some minorities in the X-Men, but upper class white people who live in upscale New York in a mansion. I haven't seen anybody raise their hand yet. How many people are a neurosurgeon? None of the Marvel characters are relatable. My God! You're a neurosurgeon? You're a rocket scientist? You're a billionaire playboy? You lying sack of shit? Anyone who tries to tell me that the Marvel characters are relatable has never read a Marvel comic in their life. Even the Fantastic Four are elite. They're NASA dropouts. You have to be among the best of the humans can offer to drop out, to even be in the running for NASA, let alone flunk out of NASA. You, watching this video, you're elite? You're among the best humanity has to offer? You're a billionaire? You're a super intelligent scientist? You're a rich doctor living in New York? No, you're not. Don't tell me you can relate to the Marvel characters. Because you can't. Because I can't. Because nobody can. Because they're not realistic, believable people. For God's sake. Nobody on the face of the earth is as intelligent as Tony Stark is supposed to be. Or, I can't remember his name. The Hulk. I can't remember his name. What's his name? The character's name? I don't remember. Whatever. So no, Marvel's not believable or relatable. Fuck off. They're just as fantastical as DC. DC owns it. Marvel lies to you and tries to cover it up. Well, anyone can get hit by a gamma storm if they're in a spaceship in outer space orbiting the Earth. How many people get to be in a spaceship orbiting the Earth? Not you, not me. Anyone can be a superhero if they're a super genius and they go to college and they get bit by a radioactive spider. How many of you are super geniuses? None. I guarantee none of you. Even if you're more intelligent than me, which I'll admit, I'm not the most intelligent person. I'm not an idiot. I know for a goddamn fact nobody can relate to Daredevil. You went to law school? You're a lawyer? No, you're not. Because if you are, you're not watching YouTube videos. You're out there saving the world. Or changing the world. Or making the world a worse place. The point is, the people who are doing the fantastical, phenomenal, life-changing things in the real world, that would be the analogs for the people doing the same in the Marvel Universe, are not us! The readers! Now, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Tony Stark being a bajillionaire genius. I'm okay with Spider-Man being a super genius. I'm okay with the Fantastic Four all being master's PhD level scientists. Because I'm not. And I'm okay with that because that's the whole point. The point was never Marvel characters are believable or relatable. Because they're not. You're a super soldier from World War II? Really? Show me your fucking flag. Show me your fucking papers. Alright, now that we've settled that, anyone who criticizes DC for characters not being relatable is an idiot. Because they're as fantastical as Marvel's characters. There's nothing relatable about anybody in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or the Marvel Comics, or the Marvel, any of it. Except for a handful of X-Men. A handful of X-Men who got lucky to be born with superpowers, which you weren't, I wasn't, and discovered by a white billionaire genius who invited them into his mansion and train them with state-of-the-art impossible technology to become superheroes? Even the most relatable X-Men character is fantastical and beyond our imagination. So don't give me that X-Men Marvel characters are more relatable, more believable. They're not. They're not. And I've just proven it beyond a shadow of a goddamn doubt with irrefutable facts. You're Namor the Submariner? You live in the ocean? You can talk to fish? Prove it. Prove it. Fuck you if you think Marvel characters are more relatable than DC characters. Because they're not. Yeah, Batman's a billionaire genius with hyper advanced technology. He's DC's Iron Man, only he does it better. Yeah, Marvel's got their Doctor Strange. Again, PhD. You have a PhD? No, you don't. If you do, you're not watching my videos, for God's sake. You got more important things to do in life. Even if you... Yeah, okay, I'll give you... There are actual real scientists in the real world. But they're not opening dimensions to other worlds. And if they are, they're sure as hell not broadcasting it. They're not time-traveling magicians. They're not creating super intelligent robots that can hunt down mutants. Unless their name is Elon Musk. But that's another story for another day. So, you're going to tell me you, sitting here, can relate to Elon Musk? You can relate to Iron Man? How? If you're that rich, give me $1 million. My links are in the description. I'll take it. And then I'll call you a genius to your face. And probably kiss your ass, metaphorically or literally. Anyone who gives me $1 million, I'll be your best friend. But you're not going to do it because you don't got it. And even if you had it, you're probably a scumbag who doesn't help people because you're selfish. So, can you relate to the altruistic superheroes that use their fortunes to save humanity when you're using your money for selfish reasons? No! Even the rich, successful, powerful PhD holders in the real world can't relate to Marvel characters. So fuck off! Fuck right off! With Marvel characters are relatable and believable. No, they are not! No, they are not! And they never were! You were lied to. And if you're stupid and believe the lie, you now have the truth in front of you. You can choose to stop believing the lie, or you can choose to continue to be an idiot. The choice is yours. DC does it better. I'm done. DC does it better. Is the DC stuff secretly good? No, it's very obviously good. Very obviously good.